Hey there people, I'm your friendly neighborhood Let's Player SpiderMwa. Welcome you back to Gabriel Night 3. As we left off, we made ourselves a fake ID of the press, of the freelance press that is, and we're gonna go and interview Mr. Montreaux of the vineyard. So let's go and do that right away.
I'll go get the Harley.
You do that, Gabriel, because otherwise we wouldn't be going anywhere. Now, Fountain, get out of the way. Don't you just love it when the camera gets stuck on stuff? Happens a lot in the old Nintendo 64 games. The camera was your worst enemy, even though the games were damn good.
Yeah, but I better knock first.
Yeah, good idea. It's always better to be polite, you know.
Yes?
I wonder if he's always standing just behind the door.
My name's Knight. I'm a reporter. I'm doing a feature on Languedoc wineries, and I'd love to include you in my spread.
I'll see if the chateau owner is free.
Some. I actually bought myself some new kind of Pepsi that I've never seen in stores before. Pepsi Max Lime flavor. Damn
Bonjour,
good.
Monsieur Knight. I'm Excelsior Montreaux, the owner and viticulturist of Chateau de Serre.
Nice of you to see me, Mr. Montreaux. I should have made an appointment, but I get better results just knocking about. The best places don't advertise.
Ah, well, how true. Now allow me to take you to the wine tasting room. Marceau?
Alright. I wonder what kind of information we're gonna get out of him, because he is a very... At least he's a very charming person. But also very creepy. I mean, just look at him.
What would you like to serve, sir?
Ah, are you a red man or a white? No. Let me guess. Red, yes?
Gosh, it shows, huh?
Do you like it dry?
Oh, hell, I'd drink dust if I could.
Well, let's see then. Perhaps the 76 Merlot.
Yes, sir.
Sounds good enough for me. I don't know nothing about wines because I don't drink it. I have tasted wine, white wine before. Didn't like it at all. But then again, like I've always said, I don't drink alcoholic drinks. Nice glasses.
I'm terribly sorry that you caught us unprepared today. We were about to shut the main gate.
Really?
Everything's all right, I hope?
Oh, yes. Here, anyway. The constable called a little while ago. There was a murder in the vicinity last night.
Really? A murder?
A murder?
It's very unusual, I assure you. But I suppose even here we're not immune. Oh, well, we should let it breathe for a moment.
Right. Nothing worse than suffocated wine.
Great jokes there, Gabe. Great jokes. So let's ask about the man himself.
Are you from this area, Mr. Montreaux?
Yes and no. I grew up in Paris, but my family has owned this estate for decades. My wife and I permanently settled here some years ago. Children do take pleasure in the country air.
Oh, you got kids?
Oh yes, a beautiful daughter who is away at school, and my firstborn son, Enoch. He's 12.
Enoch?
Have you children?
No.
Quite the name,
But you
Enoch.
must. Oh, children are every man's right to immortality.
Well, it's not the kid part I mind so much as the marriage part.
Oh, no, a wife need not be a burden if she knows her place. Her role is to serve you, after all. To care for home and heirs and leave a man to pursue nobler things.
You're one of the old school
Boy, do
believers.
we live in different worlds.
He lives in the old school world where women should always stay home, take care of the kids, wash the dishes, and do the food, while the man does all the work. As if the women don't do any work when even if they are mothers at home. It's a lot of work for the mother, for the wife, for the woman. And I respect that in a woman. If they actually just do that, I respect that. It shows that they are a good mother. As long as they don't go all crazy and such, but still discipline, control, and some important stuff.
What kind of training do you need to be a viticulturist?
The lessons I consider most valuable came from my father. He was quite a master.
You gotta know about grapes, at least. All the styles of grapes and what you can make from those grapes. There's a lot of horticulture into winery. You gotta know about the genetics and stuff to make the best type of stuff. And also, I didn't want to stop talking to him. Just accidentally clicked out the game window.
I ran into an interesting tourist angle today. Seems the Holy Grail is supposed to be around here.
Oh, the Grail is a marvelous legend. But most stories are ignorant of the true meaning of the Grail.
True meaning?
See, the Grail has far less to do with Christ than with an idea. The fountain of youth, the eternal flame, the philosopher's stone.
All of those are related to the Grail?
Seems he knows more about this.
The Grail is that thing, that one thing, or whatever symbol you use for it, that represents completion, perfection, the absolute. Do you understand now?
Yeah.
Well, no, not really.
I kinda.
Turning base lead into pure gold. That is the alchemist's aim. But it's not about real lead and real gold. It's symbolic. Man is the lead. God is the gold. Man to God. That is the alchemist's goal. That is the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Huh. But I thought with the Grail, it was actually the blood. The blood in the Grail that was the, the immortal thing.
That's what people say.
Of course. The blood is the elixir of life. The juice of the forbidden fruit.
The juice of the forbidden fruit?
An apple?
No, never mind. Dusty old theories are a hobby of mine. Ooh. Let's stick to the wine, shall we?
But if there's so much interesting stuff you have to say about other stuff than wine...
He's hiding something. Definitely hiding something. And we know, because we've seen the whole place in Grace's view. But not Gabriel's. He doesn't know. But we know. We know.
Do you know anything about the murder?
No, not really. There were two men. Neither of them from here by the sound of it.
And that's all you know. Well, at least you're keeping to that. Yes, I got my nose and my eye and my mouth on you. Maybe I shouldn't have my mouth on him. That might get me into trouble.
Do you believe the stories about a local treasure?
Indeed. It is in my soil, monsieur.
Your soil? Must be talking about the grapes and wine.
What exactly is viticulture?
You are a wine critic, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, what's your definition?
Well, to me, viticulture is about breeding, and I don't mean the mechanics of grafting. Grafting is only a tool. What's meaningful is the essence of the two vines you're combining.
Just what I was talking about.
There are literally thousands of grapes, and most viticulturists choose from well-known stock.
Just what I was talking about.
My father always bred his own grapes, and has passed down some very rare species.
Cool.
I'm fascinated.
Really? Well, I don't want to bore
you. Please, do go on. This is fascinating stuff.
I'd like to hear more about your breeding program.
You won't reveal my secrets?
For my ears only.
Very well. The secret is in mixing the best strains, of course. But there is an art to it. My father taught me to visualize the ideal grape. Once you can visualize this perfect fruit, you can analyze even the best stock and see where it is lacking, in color or body, for example. Or perhaps it could be just a touch sweeter or lighter. And the trick is to find a grape equally fine, but one which is perfect in exactly those areas which the first grape is flawed. The marriage of these two vines will produce an heir, and then this heir undergoes the same process, you see.
Huh? Don't you ever get where you're going?
Eventually. But even in the interim, your grape will soon be far superior to anyone else's. try the wine, Mr. Knight?
Are you talking about wine here or something else now? So how's the wine, Gabriel? Probably...
Wow, that's good.
This fruit did not come about by accident. It is the result of thousands, even millions of crossbreedings. Everything that it is today is a result of that hereditary tree. Don't you think it is ironic that a grape or even a dog or a cat should be so carefully bred?
Well...
But that most humans depend on such a silly thing as love.
Well...
Then again, there is something to be said for spontaneity.
Is there?
Well, if we started to breed like we do with dogs and cats for their shows, we would all be inbred, and we would all be the same. There is no variety to us, because we would all try to be the perfect man or woman. We've seen movies about those, and see how those end. Not very well. Not very well at all. Not just movies, stories, comic books. Books in general, novels. They don't end well, is all I'm saying. Nobody's perfect, and we don't need to be. The variety in society is the way to go. I should write that down. Variety in society.
You know, hearing you talk, it reminds me of something. What is it?
Alchemy? The transmutation of the philosopher's
Kind of.
stone?
Nope,
Kind of.
that's not it. It was Ask Mr. Science. Y'all get that program here?
I don't think so.
Television? I'm afraid not.
Well, they had this bit about DNA. Kind of how DNA has this funny pasta shape, but it's really billions and billions of instructions, kinda. You get into DNA with your breeding program at all?
Actually, DNA is an interesting issue, Mr. Knight. Did you know that the magic alchemists used was based on an intuitive understanding of the principles of DNA?
Really?
I'll be darned.
Uh-huh.
But to answer your question, no. I have my own ways of testing the vines, and they're far older and more traditional than DNA testing. Excuse
I'm
me.
sure it's brewing them into wine
Hello,
and such.
Easy Excelsior.
Easy. Yes, this is Excelsior. Oh, hello.
Ah, oui. Préparez une note pour sa leçon. Forgive me, I'm afraid I must return to the house. The news of the murder has quite upset my wife. Besides, my son awaits his afternoon lesson.
Well, thanks for the interview, Mr. Montreaux.
You're most welcome. Au revoir, Mr. Knight.
Au revoir.
Nice fella.
Yeah, he is kind of nice. But there's some kind of an undertone to all of his text that he was talking about. Maybe it's just the knowledge that he has about all the hereditary things about grapes that he learned from his father. I don't know. Just seemed odd. A little bit odd. But still, he was a nice fellow. A very charming fellow. Anything new around here? Doesn't seem to be. Anything new? Anybody in the cafeteria? Nobody in the cafeteria but Gabriel right now. So back into our room we go.
So where's Mosley?
Hey guys, it's 5.
Thank you, O guardian of the clock.
Okay, don't start, you two. I want to hear what happened.
You mean at Chateau de Serras? You're right. The guy's probably into one of these secret societies. You should have heard him go on about alchemy, but I don't know. He seemed more bookish than anything.
Yeah.
I say anyone who's involved with these secret societies is a big suspect.
So Montreaux
Speaking
is...
of which, Larry Chester is definitely lying. He said McDougal and Mallory just stopped by last night for directions. I couldn't get him to crack.
Who's this? Chester?
That's right.
Interesting. I'll get started on the treasure angle. Check out the museum and church tonight.
Okay.
That book really got my juices flowing.
So that's what it takes. So, are we gonna eat or what? I'm starved.
Well, actually, Grace and I had talked about catching up.
That's okay, Mose. I want to stick with my research for a while. Why don't you and Gabriel go?
I can wait till later if you...
No, I think that's a great idea. In fact, I think we should be going right now, shouldn't we, Mose?
See ya.
See, Grace, maybe after dinner?
Take a hint, Mose. You are being cock-blocked, as they say. Nice of the sound effects to still play after when we get into this, so we know that they left the room. Now I'm gonna leave this here, and next time we're gonna go into the museum at the church and investigate everything through Grace's mind. Or just her eyes and intuition. But thank you everybody for watching, hopefully you enjoyed, and I hope you all have a good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, and I will see you next time. Take care, people.